G'day, Ziggy D here. Just a quick video to show how Hydrosphere is kinda cute. Hydrosphere is a new skill that creates an orb which you can move around. You can hit the orb, and if you hit it with a freeze or a shock, it'll start pulsing with cold or lightning damage respectively. From people playing spellcasters, it seems like Hydrosphere is a good way to get some extra damage, and some people are exploring ways to spam cast it as a main damage dealer, but it might also be one of the most powerful utility skills GGG have released in a long time. Here's some cute and some potentially powerful things you can do with it. Using the Frenzy skill, you can hit it to generate Frenzy charges. Similarly, Chain Hook will generate Rage. For major bosses that you can prepare for, this means that you can enter the fight with full Rage and Frenzy charges regardless of your build. As you can hit the orb, there are some potentially very powerful things you can do with skills that have secondary on-hit damage effects. Kinetic Blast, for example, triggers on it, as does Molten Strike, which could be strong for Ancestral Strike setups. Ice Shot and Lightning Arrow also trigger secondaries, though Lightning Arrow needs a nearby enemy to zap. You can also fork and chain off of Hydrosphere, which leads to some pretty bonkers single target options. In my build, I'm testing Barrage Lightning Arrow with Deadeye's Chain. I can place a Hydrosphere near a boss, barrage it, which triggers Lightning Arrow's zap on the boss, then the arrows chain from the Hydrosphere to the boss and hit them again, effectively doubling the hits and damage in a single target situation. It's a little tricky on mobile bosses, but extremely strong when it does work. It's kind of surprising actually that this skill was allowed to do this after GGG specifically nerfed Frostwall for this sort of interaction. As Hydrosphere pulses and hits enemies itself, you can also link some utility supports to it, like Culling Strike, Blind, and Power Charge on crit. A weird note about crit on Hydrosphere though is that it seems to determine whether it's critting or not when you first place it, and then all the pulses will either be crits or all non-crits, which is a little unusual. It's a little awkward potentially, but also very strong if you do set it up and it is constantly just critting guaranteed. This does mean that if you place it down and you're using it, like for example to generate power charges, then if it's not critting, you'll have to recast it to move it and then reset its crit chance until it does start critting. It also does mean that there might be some weird snapshotting potential here with this skill. I'm not sure. Make of that what you will. Some other skills target it automatically as well, it's worth noting, like Orb of Storms, which could be useful for chaining, and Winter Orb, which might be less useful and potentially even annoying. There's probably some other cute combinations you can come up with, but definitely give Hydrosphere a look for utility in your build, even if you're not a spellcaster, as there's some pretty interesting stuff you can do with it. Anyway, I'm having fun experimenting with it, and a pretty janky Deadeye build. If you'd like to check it out, make sure you pop by the live stream. I'm Ziggy D, and thanks for watching.